Hi guys, so as you can see here, this is part two to the Katana build video that I was working on, and I'm going to showcase it here in Kamiyama Castle. There's a lot of enemies here. You can literally spawn, if you're like wanted, if you allow yourself to be wanted, it'll literally spawn tons, like mad enemies, like mad guardians, mad different enemies. You could try out your builds and just to test things and just to overall have fun with melee, which is what I like to do. But a couple of things I forgot to mention in the last video. Um, One of the skills you're gonna need in order to pull this off effectively, we're gonna go to the mastery tree here, and we're gonna go to Katana, right? You absolutely need to be on the rank 6, right, in order to make this deflect happen. And because the reason why you want it on hardened, because you want to do it on unstoppable attacks, especially against brutes like this. I also covered like the affliction damage passives and one you're gonna need. You're also gonna need tidal wave, second, third, if you really want to maximize your damage. And I personally like to use guard breaker, right? Because it deals 9 strikes, 10% ability damage, breaking armor, and you also allows you to do more damage, like 40% up to 60%. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. Which let me get here, and yeah. So you want to fully max these things out, right? But you want to have it to where you could block unstoppable attacks, the ones that flash red, right? So I went over the affliction passives here to increase the overall damage. You could also go here to the shinobi tree and the assassin's tree, respectively, and they each know right. And you just kind of just go for the global passives, right? Right now, I'm really not going to use these because I don't really need them for the damage that I'm getting ready to do. But in the future, for you guys, if you want to increase the passives here in order to get additional damage working in the background, highly recommend that you do so. If you want to kind of, maximize your damage on this thing, right? So, you really don't need to use Shuriken, destabilizing Volt to make enemies vulnerable with this build because it kind of sabotages the distance that you need in order to execute, the next attack, which would be either a posture attack for the 60% posture damage after ability, or just kind of doing a special ability like tidal wave in order to keep the combo going and the damage multiplier going to massive levels if you need to. So it kind of like breaks your inconsistency, and you don't want to do that. But however, these specific types of abilities are good for like if you want to build for like infinite health, ration type builds. But that's not really something we're going to cover here today. But just letting you guys know, okay? Um, but you just kind of want to get the passives on here too, right? Or whatever the case may be, and you'll be good with that. So, and assassin as well, right? It'll give you all of these different these passives that you could actually use to increase damage, like increase damage during the night by 2%, increase damage on vulnerable enemies by 6%, right? And even if you don't have these, or if you don't have enough mastery points, because I just reset my mastery points because I had these abilities before, because I was trying out another build dealing with unspent mastery points, and I also didn't go where you would go to get these items. I'm gonna show you how to get these items. I'll show you a very simple way you can get them because there's so many different map locations that it's hard for me to like memorize all of them. So I'll just give you a simple strategy to do, right? So, okay, we went over that here.
I
So
need
here's the thing, right? We're gonna go back here real quick. Okay, these items here, right? Warrior's Katana of Defense, right? This is the build again if you didn't see the last video. Warrior's Katana Defense, 100% armor piercing on critical hits. Deal 100% damage to the attacker on deflect. So when you deflect the attack, right, there's another skill in the Katana tree that allows you to do an auto strike after the deflect. So especially on big, bulky enemies, two things are happening. You're going to be dealing 100% damage, 100% armor piercing, which is going to go right through the yellow bar, and dealing 100% damage, you know what I'm saying, upon impact. And if it just so happens to land on the critical strike or crit chance multiplier, it's going to be a 1 or 2 swipe over with battle. Sometimes the crit chance strike doesn't kick in depending on the percentage of critical chance that you have. That's why I think this build can be approved upon with 30% critical chance on striking. But as of right now, I don't have access to those two engravings, which I will get. Um, but yeah, those are the two things that are happening, right? Second thing that's happening, right? If you add another a damage here, another 24% damage to vulnerable enemies, that'll also be working in the background, right? As you're doing the combinations with a combo ender, that'll be an additional 24%. So it'll be 100% damage, 100% armor break, right? And 24% damage with the combo ender. And you can add 24% damage, I believe, with the covert tanto of harm, um, with another 24% vulnerable damage to enemies or whatever. Or you could also choose another tanto. But as far as how to get these items are difficult to get, not in a way that it's extremely difficult, but more like it's not like legendary items where you can just have a set location and you can just find it if you just mark your map on it and you'll find, the legendary chest. This is actually different because the epic items actually drop on random chance. So the best thing that I can tell you to do, you want to upgrade your hideout to at least a level 8 or level 9. Uh, each season's end, your chest at the stables will actually generate epic gear, right? I'll show you that later on in the video when I travel to it. But it'll show you epic gear. And what you could do is before you open up the chest, you want to do a manual save like this, right? So save here. And this is a lot of thing I didn't get. You want to go to where it says create a new save game. Press that. Make sure you delete your old manual save, right? Because there's manual saves and then you have auto saves, right? So you don't want to do the auto save because it's going to take you to after you open the chest. You want to do the manual save because the manual save will
Keep out of sight.
it will pretty much let's go back to the menu here. Um yeah, you don't want to do a manual save because it'll pretty much leave you right before you open the chest, and then you can open it again and it'll give you different items. So it'll give you some type of power over the randomized patterns, right? Um, that these items drop, right? Also, if you go to the map here and you go to places like, let me see if I can find it on the map. I'm not really good at finding exact locations on maps. There's so many different places. Well, there's three places I want to mention. Mount Kogo Retreat, right, which is a high wealth area, right? I'm not sure exactly where it's at, but I'm pretty sure if I Google it or if you YouTube it, you find it. The Lumber Isle, right? The reason why these places are very important is because the Lumber Isle, Mount Kogo Retreat, and I believe Kudera Mansion, right? I'm not sure if that's in the Zumi Setsu or any other place in the province in the game, but just memorize these three: Mount Kogo, Lumber Isle, and Kudera Mansion. I believe Lumber Isle and Kudera Mansion, if I'm not mistaken, might be high wealth places. Anyway, I'll say this. When you're trying to farm for epic weapons, you want to go to these places and you want to do a manual save. When you do a manual save, you're going to fight the enemies, finish them off, and then when you finish them off, you're going to run into an elite, right? You kill the elite, he's going to drop an epic weapon, right? When he drops an epic weapon, what's going to wind up happening is that he's going to drop you an epic weapon. You're going to check the stats, and if you don't like what you have, you're going to pretty much reload that manual save again and do it over, and then it'll drop a different weapon. And you keep doing that. If you combine these strategies along with going to the merchant, when you go to the merchant, right before the season changes, you wait till it changes, have the manual save. Don't talk to the merchant yet. When you reload that manual save, you want to talk to the merchant again, and it'll have different items again. So if you combine all those strategies together, you're bound to, drop to get an item drop like this, for example, like 100% armor piercing on critical hits, right? So you want to focus on, in order for a super powerful damage build, you want to focus on 100% armor piercing on critical hits types of weapons. You also want to focus on 60% posture damage on next hit after using abilities, 50% damage on damage on next hit after armor breaks type of perks. You also want to focus on vulnerable damage and critical damage, right? You also want to focus on crit chance. For instance, I have another idea with a build here. You see the Dragon's Tooth. If you don't know where that, I don't know exactly where I picked this up, but if you just YouTube Dragon's Tooth location, legendary trinket, there's tons of guides online, right? And it'll point you in the right direction on where you need to go to kind of grab, these items. So this item particularly has 100% critical chance on next hit after a finisher, which means that if I kill an enemy or if I do a finishing technique, it's 100% guaranteed, right? If I don't finish that enemy off after the finisher, I'll land a critical strike, and all the other perks I just mentioned here, right, will kick in, right? Specifically this perk. If you combine Oni's Bite with the Dragon's Tooth, 100% critical strike chance after a finisher, man, that is devastating, right? Absolutely devastating, right? And you combine it with the deflect, and you combine it with, the ability. Remember, for this build, you want to do kind of like a deflect, because after the deflect, the armor piercing activates, right? Then when the armor piercing activates, the 50% damage after armor break activates. Then you want to do the ability, right, which activates 12% damage with abilities, right? Then after you do the ability, then you want to do a posture attack, right? More than likely, the enemy will die before you're able to finish all this. When I do this with bosses, they die on the first combo. Sometimes they don't even last 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 hits. They're dead, right? So I'm going to showcase this, right? And yeah, so I can show you guys. Definitely in Kamiyama Castle, a lot of enemies I could try this on. I could just go around one-shotting. When the crit chance doesn't kick in, sometimes it may take a couple more shots, but most of the time it's 1, 2, 3, or at least 4 and done. Oh, I didn't even see him. See, 2 hits. I like this area because when they get you unwanted, you can literally like spawn as many enemy as you like and just go on a melee massacre, right? Because I just love to fight. I love melee massacre. Combat system is incredible.
Something over there. You don't stand. Yeah. You're going down. Better not be a waste of time. No mercy.
See, critical strike kicked in. I think it really depends on. I feel like the sooner you deflect, the better your timing, the more powerful the damage is going to be. Right? So I'm just kind of like testing it out. So this build really depends on how good you can deflect. Some people's skills vary than others. So I would just say practice. The way I practice, I just come to castles like this and stay calm. Like, don't panic and dodge all around. Because enemies aren't really going to hit you. The only ones you really got to worry about is like the long range shooters, right? But guys with melee weapons, if you just watch for the glow and then tap that L1, right, and be smooth with the timing, like as soon as you see the glow, you tap the L1, you should be able to get that deflect.
I'll cut you in half.
I don't know what the fuck happened there.
I will steal your wrath. My eyes playing tricks. This one cannot. I need more warriors. That's odd. You're going down.
A lot of damage, guys. A lot of damage.
Something over there. I'll cut you in half. You are no.
See, now I'm on wanted, and the Guardians start coming out. This is fun. These guys want to... You gonna hit or what? Things are getting a little sticky. I hate these guys. There you go. There you go. Yeah, this is mainly built upon deflecting. So sometimes if you lose the rhythm, you won't get as much damage. You can still do some crazy damage, but it's all about that deflect. Setting it up, deflect. And when enemies are shooting at you, you want to dodge around and move because they're the only threat. All these guys with melee weapons, like if you have this built properly and you do it in the way that I instructed, like deflect, combo attack with the ability strikes, is damn near unstoppable. All right, so
Something is not right.
Better not miss it.
Someone hiding from me.
nobody hiding from me.
You made a mistake.
Some of those attacks are tricky to block, so you gotta time it. You gotta work on your timing. Especially when he does that one up close, you gotta be quick. So I wasn't fast enough to dodge that.
Enemies. Take a look around, I guess. I'll deal with you.
Those guys you want to take out quickly because they're damn fire shots. Just mess up your flow of things. You also have to be careful when they do their little red attack when you're building up. So try not to tap the R1 too much. Do it in a timely, delayed manner so you can always be ready to deflect. It helps when you're deflecting. Sometimes just delayed strikes not just button mashing. That's what I know has worked for me. See, like that little bullshit strike right there. Yeah, so for that. But yeah, go inside this motherfucking castle right here.
Hey, show yourself. Hello.
So I wanted to fight him, one shot him, but it was waste of a good fight, waste of a good melee. Come on.
You cannot escape. Your story is here. We are below. No clue where they went. I can't wait for you forever. They're done. This is your end.
Health on deflect grid. Wonder what that's about. Check that out at the gear vendor hideouts. But should I say gear vendor merchants? Listen to what I explained earlier is how to get some of these epic items. But
What is it now? The eagle. Time is up. No one can.
ooh, I got lucky there. Real lucky.
Die for that.
All right, guys. That kind of. I just hope that sets an example. I'll do a couple of more just to show you.
There, what's that one? Oh. What's going on up here? Die, Egan! Is there something happening? Over here! Did you see that? You will regret this.
Ain't about to call no arrows. That's what they do. Another guardian over there.
Someone hiding from me. I'll put you down. Yeah.